Welcome to the VEX IQ Challenge referee training videos. We've created this short video series for two reasons. One, to help VEX IQ Challenge referees prepare for the current game, and two, to give VEX IQ Challenge participants a better understanding of both the referee's job and gameplay. This year, we've produced 5 short videos on various refereeing topics that you can view on our YouTube channel, VEX Robotics TV, or download directly from our website. Our 5th episode, Chapter 5, is about scoring matches. The most important job of a referee is to tally scores correctly at the end of matches and hand them off to the official scorer. Score sheets will be provided for your use. Again, reading the manual helps greatly here. Scoring rules are pretty straightforward. At the end of a match, each cube that is scored in the scoring zone is worth a point value equal to the high-rise height of the same color as the cube. Here's one basic example that adds up to a total of 46 points scored. There are 4 red cubes in the scoring zone. 3 of those are part of the red high-rise for 12 points. There are 6 blue cubes in the scoring zone. 4 of those are in the blue high-rise for 24 points. And there are 5 green cubes in the scoring zone, and 2 of those cubes are part of the green high-rise for 10 points, totaling 46 points altogether. However, before you're ready to score a match, you'll need to know a few more things. First, the scoring zone is the section of the field that is bounded by the outer edge of the 5th black line, parallel to the short walls, counting from the driver's station and the inner edges of the field walls. Next, a cube is considered scored in the scoring zone if it is partially or fully within the 3-dimensional area defined by the infinite vertical projection of the scoring zone. Thus, all of the following scenarios are examples of scored cubes. Any cube being held by a robot, whether it's partially in or all the way in the scoring zone, counts as scored. This blue cube is partially in the scoring zone, thus it counts as scored. This green cube, even though resting on the wall, is also partially in the scoring zone, so it counts as scored as well. Moving on, a scored cube is also considered to be part of a high-rise if 1. It is not being touched by a robot, and 2. It is fully supported by a high-rise, or it is a high-rise base cube. Note that high-rise base cubes are always considered scored and always considered part of the high-rise even if they're being touched by a robot. This is a special circumstance compared to all other cubes in a high-rise. Please note, in teamwork and robot skills matches, high-rises must be built entirely of cubes of the same color as the base cube. Here are some examples with correct scoring scenarios. Base cubes always count. Thus, this blue high-rise is considered 1 high. Here's an easy example of a 4 high high-rise. The base cube counts as always, and the 3 cubes on top are fully supported by the high-rise and are not touching a robot. Here, the high-rise height is 2. The base cube counts. The second cube counts because it's fully supported by the high-rise. The third cube does not count because it is being touched by a robot. Remember, high-rises are measured in height, not in number of cubes. Thus, this high-rise is 3 high. All 4 cubes are scored, but the high-rise is 3 high. In teamwork or robot skills matches, this high-rise is considered to be 2 high. The red cube does not count because it is the wrong color, and the blue cube above it does not count because it is supported by a non-high-rise cube, not the high-rise itself. In all cases, all 4 cubes count as scored. In programming skills matches, high rises can be built of mixed colored cubes or of cubes that only match the base cube. In these matches, single colored high rise height is considered to be 2 times the actual cube height because it's a very difficult task for a robot to sort colors autonomously. Similar to an earlier example, the end of this programming skills match has a high rise height of 2. Notice the robot touching the 3rd cube. So here's an example of a completed programming skills match that totals up to 72 points. The 6 red cubes in the scoring zone are multiplied by 6 for a total of 36 points. The 6 multiplier comes from a 3 high single color high rise. The 3 blue cubes in the scoring zone are multiplied by 4 for a total of 12 points. The 4 multiplier comes from a 4 high multicolor high rise. And the 6 green cubes are multiplied by 4 for 24 points. The 4 multiplier comes from a 2 high single color green high rise. All totaled, 72 points were scored in this programming skills match. And finally, in all match types, referees also need to remember that a cube is only part of a high rise if it is fully supported by the high rise or it is a high rise base cube. Thus, in cases where cubes may be supported by a robot and not fully supported by the high rise, the referee should gently pull away the robot to see which cubes are fully supported by the high rise itself. Here's an example of the process and the correct scoring result. In this situation of possible support, the referee elected to gently pull the robot away from the blue high rise. 2 of the cubes fell, indicating that they were supported by the robot and not just the high rise, thus the high rise is 1 high. All 3 of these cubes are considered scored, however. That's all for Chapter 5. But make sure you check out our other videos on specific refereeing topics in this series.